In today's video, we're going to talk about the top tips and tricks for your Model 3 and Model Y. Hopefully these are some you haven't seen before, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright, first let's talk about protecting your car. We'll start on the outside. So Tesla's paint is notoriously not great. Stone chips, scratching, and everything. It's very, very thin. So what you want to do, what I did, was get your car ceramic coating. Ceramic coating is basically another layer of clear coat that goes on top of your paint. It's very easy to install. It's not very expensive. It is great against very light surface scratches, and it's also hydrophobic, so water just flies off it, making cleaning the car very, very easy. Things like bird poo and sap don't stain the paint, and it's much easier to get off. If you want to go the next step up, you can go with PPF, or paint protection film. It's basically just a clear vinyl wrap that goes over the car. Some people do the entire car. Most people just do the hood and the front bumper. That's going to protect you against scratches, stone chips, and that type of thing. Ceramic coating, on the other hand, will not protect against stone chips or real decent scratches. Alright, so moving on to the interior, you should know that your seats have been treated by the factory that makes the material. If you're anything like me, I have an anxiety attack anytime my kids eat in the car. So what you can do is very easily just take a nice wipe and wipe down. If you get denim stains or if they do get juice or anything else, it will wipe quite easily. Don't use anything too harsh. It will remove the special protective coating that has been applied to the seats. You can also ceramic coat your seats. I haven't done it. It seems a little overkill to me, but if it's anything like what it does to the outside of the car, it could work really well. And lastly, in the interior, you want to protect that beautiful screen. I went with a nice dull screen protector. The reason why was I found that the sun was blinding me a lot and I didn't love the reflection and the glare coming off of it. Also, the dull ones seemed to not show fingerprints at all. I've been really, really happy with the one I got. I'll put a link in description for it. They're very easy to install, they're cheap, and they're highly, highly recommended. And last but not least, the last thing you want to protect is that beautiful center console. I know that piano finish looks great, but honestly, it's a scratch magnet. Just running your finger across that will leave awful surface scratches. So first thing you should do, either before you get your car or once you get your car, is just get a nice cheap vinyl wrap it. It looks fantastic. It's super easy to install, and honestly, for under 20 bucks, it's the best thing you can do. The 19 and 20 inch rims that come on our cars are beautiful. However, they are quite a low profile tire. Low profile tire means you have a very, very thin sidewall. If you're not used to driving a car with a low profile, it's very easy to get flat tires and also bend your rims if you hit potholes. So what you want to do is obviously keep your eyes on the road in front of you so you avoid potholes. But you could also go to a smaller rim size with a thicker sidewall. Then you don't have to worry nearly as much. So the 18-inch rim option that comes with Tesla, or you can always get an aftermarket rim. All right, let's get into tips and settings. So instead of actually having to open the music app, you can actually just push your finger over the music icon, swipe it up, and stop wherever you want to go. You can also just tap it to close, but I found it just sort of easy to just slide your finger up and slide it all the way back down. Teslas are incredibly intuitive. However, there was one thing I didn't know how to do, which was put on the air in the back of the car. It wasn't the easiest icon to find. So just tapping that little picture in the corner will put air in the back seat for your passengers. The other things you can do is you can leave your air conditioning on when you leave the car. That will turn off when the battery hits 20%. You have dog mode, which will again leave the car on. It will also leave an icon on the screen. And then there's camp mode, which will again stay on until the battery hits 20%. You can also just turn the climate off when you leave the car. The other thing to remember is that the recirculating air icon right there, so if you want fresh air to come in, you want to turn that off. But what Tesla recommends doing, especially if you want to take advantage of the high quality air filters that they use, is leave that on, because then the air is actually much cleaner and purified through the air filter. So for the parents out there, here are a couple things I like to do within the lock menu. So I like to leave door and window notifications on, so the car will tell you if you've left a door open or a window open. I also like to do the lock confirmation sound and close the windows on lock, because nothing says fun like when your 2-year-old opens the window a little bit and it starts raining the next day. So there's a few different options when it comes to your side mirrors. So go into quick controls, click on your mirrors adjustment, and what you can do from there is I like to select your Mirror auto tilt, what that does is angle your mirrors down so you can make sure you're not too close to the curb. That combined with your side cameras makes life really, really easy so that you don't smack up your rims. The next thing to do is your mirror auto fold. That's great for when you're parking, and when you get out of the car, it just automatically puts your mirrors in, which is great because it protects you against maybe a cyclist hitting into your mirror or maybe another car. So this next little tip is actually really helpful to find out what is going on with your car. So if you get any weird notifications that pop up and you want to look into what they are, here's how you do it. So pull up your menu button, go into software, click on notifications, and you'll see all the notifications you've gotten that have popped up, so any error messages. If you click on it, it will actually take you directly to the owner's manual and pop up potentially what it is and what it means to help you understand what's going on. So credit actually goes to my wife for finding this shortcut because she hates my music and constantly turns it down. So what you can do is, instead of using the scroll wheel, if your passenger, for example, because it's closer to them, wants to turn the music down, they can just slide their finger all the way to one side or all the way back to turn the volume back up. Instead of having to just tap each side constantly to keep going up, 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 they can just slide it back and forth. So this next little trick is kind of a Reddit urban legend. However, I've done it multiple times, and every time I do it, it seems to work. So every time there's an update that's going to be coming out soon, what I do is I go into my software tab and I tap the advanced button 10 times, and then I go between standard and advanced back and forth 5 times. Now, I've read online that this actually speeds up the process. I did it just yesterday, and the next time I started the car, I had the latest updates. So try it out. It's worked for me. I don't know if it'll work for you, but a lot of people say that it does work. So give it a shot. So the next tip is about supercharging. So what you always want to do before you supercharge your car is always pre-plan it and put it in your navigation. So what you can do is, from your navigation screen, you can click on the little icon there. That brings up all the superchargers that are close to you. Then you can then select the closest one, or whichever one you want to go to, and it's going to navigate to that point. Now, the reason why you should always do this is this starts the car preconditioning the battery. Preconditioning the battery basically means that it's getting your battery to the optimal temperature, whether that's cooling it or heating it, so that you can accept a supercharge. Give yourself 10 to 20 minutes before you get there. That will give you more than enough time to get the battery ready. If the battery is not ready to accept a supercharge, it's just not going to be charging as efficiently as it could be. So this next supercharging tip is fantastic, especially if you live in a hot climate. So obviously heat and electricity don't do well together. If you want to get the optimal performance out of your supercharger while you're charging, take a microfiber cloth that you might keep in your car or a small towel and just wet it with some water and drape it over the handle. What that's going to do is it's going to prevent the supercharger from heat soaking. There's been a ton of YouTubers who have done studies on this and have shown that it is quite a significant change. So this isn't really a tip or a trick, it's just a fun little Easter egg. So next time you're charging either at home or at a supercharger, just push the little button 10 times and you'll see a fun little light show. It's actually really nice at night, and my son loves doing it, so there you go. Next, let's talk about rebooting your Tesla. So just like your phone, your laptop, your TV, or your computer, sometimes software starts bugging out, and a little reboot will fix 99% of problems. So here's how you do it. What you want to do a soft reboot, so you're just rebooting your center computer, just the main computer. Just hold down the 2 scroll wheels in for a few seconds, and you'll see the computer starting to reboot. So what I like to do is open the door or put the window down just in case there's a problem and you're inside the car and it needs to do a hard reboot or something happens. At least you just have a way to get out or have some fresh air if it does take some time to reboot the car. Now, if you want to do a hard reboot, which is literally rebooting the entire computer, so you do the exact same thing, except you put your foot on the brake at the same time. So you hold the brake down, push in the 2 scroll wheels, wait a few seconds, and everything will turn off, including your air. You'll notice the entire car shuts down. Just wait, it'll cycle through, you'll see the Tesla logo pop up, and your car will be back up and running. So this next feature is fantastic if you have a young driver in the household. So what you want to do is go into safety and security, and from here you can actually limit how quickly they can go. So what you do is click on the speed limit button and then enter a 4-digit PIN, and that's it. So the only downside of this is that you will have to deal with a teenager calling you wondering why the car will only go to 70 kilometers an hour. Other than that, it's a fantastic feature. All right, so next let's hop into your autopilot settings. So to get there, just tap on the little car icon in the bottom left corner. Let's go into autopilot, and from here let's start at the very bottom. So first thing I like to turn off is obstacle aware acceleration. This is one of the worst features they ever had in the car. Luckily, you can now turn it off. It basically would stop the car from being able to accelerate properly if it detected a car in front of you. Definitely turn that off. Next, automatic emergency braking. I like to keep that on. Blind spot collision warning chime. I also like to keep on, and emergency lane departure avoidance on. Now, when it comes to lane departure avoidance, I think warning is better than assist. The warning basically vibrates your steering wheel a little bit, whereas assist actually pushes you back in the lane. So again, it's personal preference. I just didn't love the nanny feel that the assist was doing. Now for forward collision warning, I keep it on late. I used to have it on early. I tried medium as well. What I found was it's far too sensitive. So if someone sort of pulls in front of you, there were actually a few times when the car just would completely slam on its brakes. It was a little too scary. I didn't love how it felt. So I keep it on late. I think late is just perfect. It will keep you out of trouble. It's worked before when people have, suddenly stopped quickly and the car does its job. So definitely keep it on, but I would just change it to late. But again, personal preference. From there, up top, I like to keep all the other autopilot features enabled. This is if you have self-driving mode. Obviously, if you don't, you're not going to have all of these different things. And if you notice that some of these features aren't there yet, it just depends on what version of the software and what country you're in, but I'm sure you'll have them soon if you don't already have them by now. I hope you guys learned something new and enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider subscribing, liking, and commenting on the video. I'm happy to answer any Tesla questions that I can in the comments below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and thanks so much. See you soon. Bye.